Let's call the meeting. All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Todd McCulloch.
Here.
David Kennedy. Trisha Brown.
Here.
Kristen Runge.
Here.
Al Dassow. Abigail Zollner. Here.
Right, next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Do we have any changes or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item up is public comment. We don't have anybody here in the audience today. And it looks like we do have some participants online. Do we have anybody online that would like to make a comment? If you do, please raise your hand and we will move you into the Zoom room so you can make a comment. Oh, it's just us five? Oh, well, okay. Then no public comment. Let's move to business items. The first business item, discuss and take action on TID 4 closure or extension. And that's to you, Lauren and Renee.
Yep. So I'm going to let Renee take this one because it deals with TID stuff that's a little bit beyond my understanding.
Yeah, so I tried to explain it in the packet as best as I could. But TID 4 is ready to be closed and or extended. And this is a little bit different situation because we actually collected enough increment last year in 2024 for the 2023 tax roll to technically close. But we wanted to keep it open till the end of the expenditure period, which was December 2nd, 2024, to capture there was the soil contamination at the village center that we've been working on for several years. We wanted to capture as much of that cost as a TIF eligible cost. So we wanted to keep it open as long as we could. And so that puts us in a situation where now the tax increment that we received in 2025 for the 2024 tax roll is more than we need. The entire increment is in excess of what we need. So in this situation, we would either, if we do the TID extension for affordable housing, we only have to do it for about 2 months to get through till just before April 15th. And then the entire increment for the that we collected in 2025 would go to affordable housing. And that's $160,716. So we'll just do a real short extension because that's just the technical term that they say, so that they know we want to use that for affordable housing. So we'd extend it and then actually close it also before April 15th. So we don't get yet another year's worth of increment because we can only use 1 year's worth for affordable housing. Were we not to extend it, then we would still close by April 15th, and then we would have to refund any excess, which that majority of the $160,000 would be in excess, even after the audit fees and such. We would refund that to the overlying districts. So that's why it's a little different than some of the ones we've seen in the past, but we would still get a full year's worth of increment toward affordable housing.
Okay, fantastic. What questions do we have? Abby, do you have any?
None from me.
Trisha?
No questions. I think this is a great problem to have in a good example of how TIF can overperform, and we're going to reap the benefits of this in 2 ways. So no, this one's an easy one for me.
All right, thank you, Trisha. Todd?
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win for us and for the program that we have, and that we want the betterment fund that we want to keep continuous. I think it's a good thing.
All right, we're all in agreement then. Would anybody like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll move. What do I need to do? Move to recommend that the board extend TID 4 for 2 months and use the increment collected in 2025 for the 2024 tax year for affordable housing.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much for the work on this. Yeah.
So then we'll get that on the village board agenda.
Fantastic. All right. And the next item on the agenda, as we are moving through the Waunakee Housing Betterment Fund, we are learning what we could do, what we're doing well, and what we could do to change it to make it work a little bit better. And so Lauren, to you on item number 2, discuss and take possible action on amendments to the Wanakee Housing Betterment Fund Program Policy.
Yeah, so we looked at some other programs, primarily the city of Menasha, which is the kind of the basis for the program that we built. And noticed that they generally pay the grant directly to the contractors, the last dollar in, instead of requiring the applicant to front the cost and then get repaid for it. And we think that's a little bit better of a system, and especially when we're talking about affordable housing, a little bit better for the applicant that they're not having to come up with this money upfront. So it doesn't change the calculation of the award. It doesn't, really the only thing that we're changing is that it's a disbursement grant direct to the contractor instead of a reimbursement grant to the awardee.
Any questions on this? Todd?
Yes. Is there any concern that the grantee won't pay their half?
No, so they have to provide an invoice that says they've paid up to the amount that the grant has, and the grant will be the last dollar in.
Thank you.
Tricia?
No, I appreciate the homework and the research that went into coming into this solution. I think that is, I guess I didn't realize that that was the case. So that was a surprise to me from the get-go. So no, I think that this is a nice way to resolve and keep it as much of a benefit as possible to the homeowners.
Abby?
No questions for me.
And none for me either. So I'd like to make a motion to update the Wanakee Housing Betterment Fund Program policy materials as presented at the February 12th, 2025 CDA meeting.
I'll second the motion.
All right, any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, and that leaves us with one last motion on the agenda.
I'll move to adjourn.
All right. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we adjourn at 6:07.
Ooh,
I think
that's
that's
gotta
the
be a
quickest
It's
meeting.
got to be a record. That has to be.